After getting back together, I still schemed to have Pei Yenshu's child, even deliberately forgetting to wear the ultra-thin 001. I even took the medicine obediently, pretending to only care about money, not the person. But Pei Yenshu, who adhered to the principle of marriage before childbearing, suddenly darkened his face. Pei Yenshu got out of bed with a black face, walked into the bathroom with his back to me, and there were still scratch marks left by me on his back. Until the sound of water splashing in the bathroom started, he didn't say a single word to me. The emergency contraceptive pill I had just taken in front of him now brought a lingering bitterness from my throat. I looked in confusion at the broad-shouldered, narrow-waisted male model figure behind the frosted glass, not knowing why he was angry. This time, I obediently took protective measures, unlike last time when I used despicable means to secretly poke holes in the condom, trying to get pregnant and force a marriage, only to be abruptly dumped. Just as I was hesitating whether to coax him, my mom's marriage-urging call came through. "Linen, when are you and Pei Yenshu planning to get married? Does he have any intention of marrying me?" I clutched the blanket still reeking of strong masculine scent and told the truth. The sound of water in the bathroom abruptly stopped, and my mother's voice instantly shot up 8 pitches as she furiously scolded me. "You idiot! The Pei family is top-tier old money, and they value having many children and much happiness the most. No matter what it takes, get yourself pregnant with the Pei family's eldest grandson first. As long as the child is in your belly, are you afraid he still won't marry you? You're almost 28 now. The most important thing is that you're still in your prime childbearing years. Seize the chance to pop out a few kids and earn your status through your son. In a few more years, you'll be a geriatric mother and won't even be able to have kids if you want to. Be smart. Don't let him play you for 7 years and end up with nothing." I didn't catch the rest of her words, and I was too disgusted to keep listening anyway. What's the point of her yelling at me? If she's got the guts, she should yell at Pei Yenshu. He doesn't want marriage, doesn't want kids, doesn't want to wed. What can I do about it? After hanging up, I had no mood left to soothe Pei Yenshu. I picked up my clothes scattered on the floor, threw them on in a mess, and on weak legs walked out to the living room. On the sofa lay an unopened Birkin, a white house, with several Hermes accessories casually piled beside it. This bag was a style that Pei Yenshu's first love, Suemo, had ordered long ago but never picked up. Although I also liked it, I knew for sure it was definitely not meant for me. I wisely picked up those accessories, found the right angle, took photos, and put them up on a secondhand platform. These luxury accessories, overwhelming in sensation, to me, who isn't used to wearing any accessories, are no different from Pinduoduo's 9.9 yuan free shipping ones. Wearing them makes me feel uncomfortable all over. Pei Yenshu was intent on giving them to me. At first, I thought he wanted to show off that I was poor and let me wear them to save face. It wasn't until after the breakup, when I casually scrolled through Sumo's social media, that I found out these were just random accessories Pei Yenshu bought according to a 1-to-1 ratio with a bag for Sumo. She didn't want them, so he casually gave them to me. Buying a 2 million yuan Birkin White House requires 2 million yuan in accessories. It turns out Pei Yenshu didn't care at all whether I wore them or not. So, with an easy conscience, I sold all the ones he had given me over the years and turned them into cash. I comfortably curled up on the sofa, immersed in calculating the balances of dozens of bank cards one by one, and finally added up to 15,200,000. A pair of strong, lean arms suddenly wrapped around my waist, startling me into quickly turning off the screen. When I looked up again, Pei Yenshu's sharply defined handsome face was slowly magnifying in front of me. His cool, thin lips pressed against my soft ones, and his voice was hoarse with insatiable desire. "I didn't do well just now. Let's try again." In the midst of our mingled breaths, his hand, with its slightly calloused palm, roamed downward restlessly. When it came to the final step, I panicked and grabbed his muscular arm, uncharacteristically sensible, trying to stop him. "The medicine is finished, and there are no condoms at home." Pei Yenshu furrowed his brows almost imperceptibly. Not only did he not stop, but he became even more forceful and vigorous than before. "What? Now that you can't marry into the Pei family, you're not even willing to carry my child." He gripped my waist, his fierce movements laced with restless irritation. "Are you that desperate to get married?" I bit my lip, whimpering intermittently, unable to form words. Seeing my silence, he forcefully turned my face, forcing me to look at him. What about if I introduce you to a blind date? One of my good buddies has top-notch family background, education, and looks, but he has a problem with his sexual orientation. He's not interested in women. Anyway, your mom wants you to marry someone rich, and he just happens to need a wife in name only. As for me, I also needed him to come back and take care of you first. In the heat of passion, my chest heaved involuntarily. Tears of physiological response welled up at the corners of my eyes. With the last shred of hope, I asked him in a trembling voice, if we didn't take precautions and I get pregnant, what then? At the last moment, he leaned down and kissed me, then casually curled his lips. Get an abortion. I refused to have an illegitimate child before my arranged marriage. Besides, if having a child could actually make you marry into a wealthy family, so many people would have already tried it. It wouldn't be your turn. These words were his explanation for why he was so furious about me secretly poking holes in the condoms. Not only did he break up with me and cut off all my credit cards, but even the team of experts he sent to treat my grandmother's rare cancer was recalled overnight. So it turned out that when he said he was against marriage, he just didn't want to marry me. And when he said he didn't like children, he just didn't want to have children with me. Snapping back to reality, afraid that refusal would anger him, I hastily forced a flattering smile and agreed randomly, okay, I'll go on the blind date. Grandma had passed away, and I had saved enough money to study abroad. 7 days later, I was going to study fashion design. Pausing, I noticed his expression darken, so I carefully added another sentence. Thank you. As if unaccustomed to me being so obedient, Pei Yenshu's handsome face grew even more gloomy. His scrutinizing gaze seemed to bore holes through me. What? Are you sulking with me? I felt a bit guilty, afraid he would see through me. I was thinking about how to muddle through. Ding, the ringtone sounded. It was the exclusive ringtone for Sumo. Pei Yenshu almost immediately forgot about his suspicion of me and quickly answered the phone. Without waiting for him to show me the door, I sensibly put on my clothes and quietly began packing my luggage. Over the years, Pei Yenshu only called me over when he needed something. After it was done, no matter how late it was, he would have the driver take me home, never allowing me to stay overnight. There weren't many of my belongings in that house, not even enough to fill a small 14-inch suitcase. My relationship with Pei Yenshu began during a company dinner. He was too drunk to drive, and as the intern assistant, I was assigned to take him home. But he pinned me down on the bed and wouldn't take no for an answer, leading to a muddled one-night stand. No confessions, no promises. It went straight from kissing to bed. Later, I found out that night, he mistook me for Sumo, who had broken up with him abruptly. A relationship that started without clarity ended just as messily. After packing everything up, I silently dragged my suitcase toward the door at the entrance. Pei Yenshu, who had just ended a call, suddenly grabbed my arm. Don't forget to take the abortion pills. Your body won't handle it well. The sudden concern made my heart flutter unintentionally. I looked up, only to see his eyes coldly warning me. Mo is coming back early next week. I'm getting engaged to her. She's timid and cries easily, and she'll come to the company later. Don't go looking for her. From this angle, his sharp, three-dimensional features felt overwhelmingly oppressive. My wrist ached from his grip, and my nose inexplicably stung. I withdrew my hand, deliberately putting distance between us, and let out a low grunt of acknowledgement. Perhaps because I agreed too quickly, Pei Yenshu choked up, his deep eyes fixed on me as if he wanted to say something but held back. Before he could speak, I turned and walked away with my suitcase. Actually, I hadn't said that I originally planned to take the medicine anyway. That night, after taking 2 emergency contraceptives in quick succession, my stomach churned violently, and I didn't sleep well. So when I went to work the next day and received the HR group email announcing that my confirmed director position had been replaced by the newly parachuted in Sumo, my mind was still in a fog. The gossipy colleagues started speculating about Sumo's background. I had thought Linenen's promotion was certain, only to learn she lost to a fresh-faced newbie. Rumor had it that the newcomer was President Pei's fiancé. President Pei had remained single all these years, just waiting for her to return. This position change was also personally decided by him. Chung Linlin, sitting nearby, gnashed her teeth in anger and stood up for me. Even if she's the future boss's wife, she can't just snatch your job like that. Obviously in need of money, he still uses connections to take over an ordinary person's job. Isn't that pure bullying? I'm fine. forcing back the tears swirling in my eyes, trying to lighten the mood. I laughed bitterly, mocking myself. No wonder Pei always dotes on his wife. Honestly, I kinda shipped them. After speaking, I realized the office had fallen into dead silence at some point. Turning around, I met Pei Yenshu's cold, deep pool-like face. He grimly dragged me into the CEO's office. The door had barely closed when Pei Yenshu's icy hand gripped my wrist and pinned me against the wall. Explain? Explain what? I was stunned, staring straight back at him. His deep eyes were full of sarcasm. What do you think? Are you that eager to spread rumors so others can maliciously speculate that Sue Mo got her position by relying on a man? Do you know how vicious such rumors are to women in the workplace? I found it ridiculous. You think I started them? Who else? He looked down at me, his gaze freezing cold. Besides you, who else knows about my relationship with Sue Mo? The company's promotion process has always been fair and transparent. I never show favoritism to anyone. Ability always comes first. Sue Mo has a master's degree in economics from Columbia University. What about you? A graduate from a no-name second-tier college with an art degree. Whether in education or ability, she's far superior to you. Stunned by what he said, I struggled angrily to break free from his grip, but he only grabbed my wrist and pressed me back down. If it weren't for the internship period and you climbing into my bed, do you think you would have been able to stay after probation? Instead of pulling these underhanded tricks, you'd be better off thinking about how to improve your own abilities. Every word was a put-down. My eyes reddened as I looked at him, feeling as if this man, who I fell for at first sight and have loved for 7 years, had become frighteningly unfamiliar. Is that how you've always seen me? That's why, for these 7 years, no matter how outstanding my proposals were, you never once looked at me seriously. Every time, you gave me the lowest score, not even giving me the chance for fair competition. Pei Yenshu, you never actually liked me, never respected me, not even a little bit. Perhaps not expecting such a strong reaction from me, Pei Yenshu's expression froze briefly. I sniffled, forcing myself to suppress my emotions. Since all my efforts are worthless in your eyes, fine, I resign. His pupils suddenly contracted, a barely perceptible panic in his deep voice. Leave me? Where could you go? None of your business. I have my own place to go. At that, the grip on my wrist tightened even more, hurting so much it made my heart ache. All you have to do is apologize publicly to Amo and admit you've been spreading rumors, and I'll let bygones be bygones. After a tense minute of silence, I held back my bitterness. Pei Yenshu. He frowned. I raised my hand and slapped him. Word by word, I said, go to hell. He was stunned, his handsome face growing even darker. Just as the atmosphere was about to explode, the door to the CEO's office suddenly swung open. Pei Yenshu's expression froze, and he abruptly let go of my hand. A girl in a pure white dress smiled gently at me, her voice soft and tender. You must be Linen, right? Hello, I'm Aksu's fiancé, Sue Mo as in Jasmine. Even though Pei Yenshu and I had done nothing, when he met Sue Mo's gaze at that moment, I inexplicably felt a bit embarrassed, but she looked at me meaningfully. With curved brows and eyes, she took out a large red invitation from her bag and handed it to me. Next week is the engagement ceremony for Sue and me. You must come. I just handed out invitations to all my colleagues, but I never found you. Didn't expect you to be here. Pei Yenshu's expression suddenly froze. His handsome brows furrowed slightly. When did you print the invitations? Why didn't you tell me? Sue Mo tilted her head and playfully stuck out her tongue at him. I asked the secretary lady to print them for me as soon as I arrived at the company this morning. You're such a busy person. I didn't want to bother you. Upon hearing this, Pei Yenshu's gaze fell blankly on my pale face, his expression obscure and unreadable. My fingertips trembled slightly as I took the invitation, forcing a smile. Congratulations. I wish you and President Pei a harmonious union for 100 years. As soon as the words were spoken, Pei Yenshu's face suddenly darkened. With a snap, the pen he had in his suit pocket was broken in two. I ignored him. I put away the invitation, turned, pulled open the door, and walked towards the upper seat. However, just as I returned to the seat, I was about to pack up and leave. A slap came straight at my face, a dull smack. I didn't even react to what had happened, only felt my whole body stagger and sway, and half of my face suddenly burned with a fiery pain. I covered my swollen cheek and looked up blankly. Standing before me was a girl who looked 70% like Sue Mo. You're the homewrecker who stole my sister's man? A gorgeous red dress made her appear even more imposing. She raised her chin slightly, her eyes full of contempt. When my sister and her boyfriend broke up, only half a year had passed before you took advantage and climbed into his bed, trying to hitch up to a higher branch. You're cheap, so cheap. In the office, some colleagues couldn't help but let out low snickers. More people remained silent, watching this drama and quietly enjoying the gossip. She grabbed my hair fiercely and sneered triumphantly. Your parents didn't teach you about decency, so I'll teach you. In pain, I raised my hand to fight back, but she suddenly let go. I lost my balance and fell to the ground. The next second, my wrist was grabbed midair. I turned to meet Pei Yenshu's deep eyes. He frowned, his tone full of displeasure. Linen, this is the company. Haven't you caused enough trouble? Why did you push her? And you, Sume, why aren't you at work? What are you doing here? It was clearly her own. I opened my mouth to argue, but when the words reached my lips and I saw Pei Yenshu's icy gaze, I suddenly lost all strength to argue. Sue Mo was his legitimate fiancée, and Sue Mei was her sister. No matter who started the trouble between me and Sue Mei, it was impossible for him to uphold justice for me in public. Sue Mo helped the softly sobbing Sue Mei up, then turned to me. Sorry, please don't take it to heart with my sister. She just started college. She's still a child and doesn't understand all these messy affairs between adults. She must have heard some incomplete rumors and felt indignant on my behalf, which is why she got so worked up. These words seemed like an apology, but in fact they were more like confirming to everyone that I had indeed interfered in her and Pei Yenshu's relationship. Even as stupid as I am, I should have realized that this slap was something Sue Mo made Sue Mei deliver on her behalf. Sis, why are you apologizing to someone like her? She deserves it. A broken drum is beaten by everyone. My slap is too light for her. Enough. Shut up. Pei Yenshu snapped at her, his face turning livid. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll have Uncle Sue teach you a lesson. Brother-in-law, you big jerk. Sue Mei sniffled, her voice choked with tears. Do you know? My sister has been keeping her virginity for you all along. She suddenly pointed at me, saying, a second-hand slut like her, ridden by thousands, is she even worthy of being compared to my sister? Sue Mo looked as if she had suffered a great injustice, her eyes suddenly reddening. All right, stop talking. Pei Yenshu's expression stiffened. He looked at Sue Mo in disbelief, his grip on my hand trembling uncontrollably. After a long moment, his face dark, he ordered me, apologize to Xiao Mei. His cold eyes were sharp enough to pierce a person's heart. It was as if I didn't apologize today, this matter would never end. With the whispers and ridicule of my colleagues around me, I trembled all over, shook off Pei Yenshu, raised my hand and fiercely slapped Sue Mei, then pushed her hard to the ground. Make it clear, this time, I was the one who pushed her. Su Yuan fell heavily to the ground, crying and shouting. Chuan, Chuan. Pei Yenshu, with a dark face, tried to stop me, but I kicked him hard twice in the crotch. Before Chuan arrived, I rushed to the office, found the nearest police station to report it, and gave a statement at the police station. Dazed and confused, I walked to the Cross River Bridge. In my distracted state, I received a call from my mother. She angrily questioned me. Pei Yenshu doesn't want you anymore, right? I saw on the hot search that he's going to marry the heiress of the Su group. I knew it. With that terrible temper of yours, what man can stand you? You've been used for so many years, not even able to get pregnant. If you had conceived the legitimate eldest grandson, the one marrying into the Pei family would be you. How could you be so stupid? I gave birth to you for nothing, raised you for nothing. I mechanically hung up the phone, too exhausted to even argue with her. Being with Pei Yenshu for these 7 years has been so tiring. He gave me expensive gifts, set off fireworks all over the city for me, and covered all of my grandmother's medical expenses. He remembered all my preferences, but he never once promised me a future. I once dragged Pei Yenshu to my best friend's wedding. Full of longing, I hugged his arm, swaying it and acting spoiled. Xiaoya's wedding dress is so pretty, Su. When will you find the time to go try on wedding dresses with me? He frowned almost imperceptibly, his voice cold as he interrupted me. With so many things at the company, how would I have time to do such boring things with you? Besides, isn't it good for us to be like this now?
But now,
But he personally accompanied Sue Mo to pick wedding dresses and booked the wedding venue. It turns out it wasn't that he had no time, he just didn't want to accompany me. The bridesmaid, with tears in her eyes, finished her wedding vows and, as planned, tossed the bouquet toward me. My happiness baton was about to be passed. Whoever catches it will be the next sweet bride. Everyone around consciously made space for Pei Yenshu and me, a couple who had been together for 7 years. I eagerly reached out to grab it, but Pei Yenshu casually raised his hand to block it, and the bouquet landed steadily in the lap of the girl sitting next to me. I had been plagued by insecurity ever since, always fearing he would abandon me. That anxious feeling reached its peak on Valentine's Day. That day, he lied to me, saying he had to accompany a client for business and couldn't keep his promise to go see the first snowfall in Seoul with me. But I caught him red-handed. He secretly took Sue Mo, who had just gone through a breakup, to the Antarctic to see the aurora and lift her spirits. For the first time, I listened to my mother's advice and tried to use pregnancy to force him into marrying me. But when he found out, he flew into a rage and broke up with me. I thought he was afraid of marriage and kids, so I shamelessly crawled into his bed, trying to seduce him with my body, begging him to take me back, just like I did after our previous fights. He could sleep with me, but then told me he had gotten back together with Sue Mo and was preparing to marry her. I waited 7 years, exhausted every scheme, but never got his promise. The moment Sue Mo turned back, he gave it to her. The water under the bridge surged, and the river wind stung my face. I stood on tiptoe, but suddenly someone grabbed my arm. The young police officer who had just taken my statement looked tense, holding my arm tightly. "Isn't it just being publicly slandered as a mistress?" "Such a small thing," he said. "How could you think of that? Although that heiress of the Sue family has money and power, don't worry. We're a socialist country. We'll definitely get you justice. My colleague has already gone to your company to get the surveillance footage. It's confirmed that she struck first, and she admitted she was instigated by her sister and lost her cool, so she slandered you. Now we've detained her for 7 days on charges of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. Life is still long. There's nothing you can't get through." After speaking, he hurriedly fumbled in his pocket, pulled out a white rabbit candy, and handed it to me. "Here, have a candy. You'll feel better." All the resentment I had suppressed for so long finally exploded in that moment. I couldn't help but cry. Actually, I never thought of ending my life. I just wanted to let the river breeze clear my chaotic mind. I forced myself to face the harsh truth that Pei Yenshu had never loved me. Despite my repeated refusals, the young police officer was conscientious and insisted on taking me home. Along the way, he kept trying to comfort me by making conversation. He asked about my dreams, trying to reassure me. I was honest with him and told him that I had once come across a popular online post. The post asked, "If you were financially free, what would you most want to do?" The most upvoted reply was, "To read the books I want to read, to pursue the things I want to pursue, without having to worry about making a living, and purely for the sake of interest." With that in mind, I've been saving up for a long time. In a few days, I'll be boarding a plane to my dream school. The young police officer let out an almost imperceptible sigh of relief. At my doorstep, he patted my shoulder and repeatedly encouraged me to live well before he left with peace of mind. I turned around and swiped the smart lock. The moment I pushed the door open, I accidentally bumped into a broad, solid chest. Looking up, I met Pei Yenshu's handsome but gloomy face. He lowered his eyes and stared at me, his expression dark and unreadable. "Who was that man who sent you back? Looks like you've already found someone else. That's why you haven't been making a scene with me." I shoved him away with my hands. "Who sent me home is none of your business. We've already broken up, and I've quit my job. Can you just stop bothering me?" He suddenly grabbed my wrist and pinned me against the door. "When did I ever say we were breaking up? And when did I ever allow you to find another man? Are you that afraid you won't be able to get married?" I stared at him in disbelief. "Have you forgotten? You're about to get married." He let out a light laugh. "So what? My dad has kept 18 mistresses outside. Apart from not being able to marry you, money, or anything else you want, I can give you all of it, including the children you want to have. As long as Sue Mo gives birth to the heir of the Pei Su group, you can have as many as you want." Once a child is born, whether it's a boy or a girl, I'll set up $100 million overseas trust fund for them. As for that sumo of yours, from now on one stays inside and the other outside, no interfering with each other. I was stunned, my expression blank for a moment. You're afraid Sumo will find out you're divorced? His cool, large hand restlessly slipped into my clothes. With the two families' marriage alliance, she wouldn't dare to make a scene with me. Today's incident, Uncle Sue and Aunt Sue have already taught her a lesson. After all, before marriage, I tolerated her running off to chase her true love with some poor painter for 7 years, so she should tolerate me keeping a woman after marriage who won't threaten her position. As long as you're obedient, sensible, and don't deliberately provoke her. Incidents like today's will never happen again after I attend the engagement ceremony. I clutched my clothes tightly, refusing him. You've gone crazy. You should go find your fiancé, not come to me, your ex-girlfriend. Pei Yenshu paused, his voice hoarse. We're not married yet. I can't bear to touch her. Help me out, and I'll give you $5 million as a voluntary gift. My heart couldn't help but ache. I raised my hand and slapped him hard across the face. Do you think I'm the kind of woman who'd do anything disgusting for money? And you're not? Pei Yenshu forcefully twisted my face around, forcing me to look at him. First, I paid for your grandmother's medical bills, and then you deliberately crawled into my bed while I was drunk. Then, to marry into the Pei family, you purposely poked holes in the condoms to get pregnant and force a marriage. Even the gifts I gave you were all sold for cash. Now what are you pretending to be so virtuous about? I opened my mouth and bit his hand hard. Pei Yenshu, I'm not the kind of woman you think I am. I like money, but I have principles. I won't hurt another woman for money. Since you plan to get married, you should be loyal to your wife and your marriage, not want to have it both ways. Pei Yenshu winced in pain and let go of me. I turned to try to shut the door, but he blocked it with his long leg, exuding a ruthless determination that wouldn't stop until he got what he wanted. I grabbed my phone and dialed the police in front of him, threatening him with a trembling voice, "If you don't leave now, the police will come, and then you won't be able to leave at all. If you get detained, your arranged marriage with Sue Mo will become a huge joke in high society." Pei Yenshu was stunned for a moment, then grew even angrier. What? You plan to call off the engagement, ruin my betrothal to Sue Mo, and force me to marry you? You should know, these cheap tricks of playing hard to get don't work on me. With that, he slammed the door heavily, and his footsteps faded away. This guy is definitely crazy. Where did he get that idea? Am I so cheap that I have to marry him? In the following days, perhaps busy preparing for the engagement party, or perhaps still angry at me, Pei Yenshu never bothered me again. On the day of his engagement to Sue Mo, I successfully boarded the plane to Country F. Sue Mo posted photos of the engagement party on social media, overlapping with the scenes I had imagined countless times. There were flower arches, a red carpet, a white wedding dress, and a black suit, a diamond ring as big as a pigeon egg, but I was not there. Amid the crowd's cheers, Pei Yenshu lowered his head and planted a solemn kiss on Sumo's forehead. At the last moment before the plane took off, I relievedly clicked like, turned off my phone, put on an eye mask, and went to sleep. Unexpectedly, Pei Yenshu and I would never see each other again in this life. As soon as the engagement banquet ended, Pei Yenshu took out his phone and immediately called Linen, wanting to ask if she had realized her mistake and repented. As long as she obediently bowed her head and admitted her mistake, all the conditions he had set that day would still stand. He believed that a woman as money-loving as her would never really refuse a $100 million trust fund. The reason she resisted was just to try to control him in exchange for greater benefits. For example, the foolish delusion of becoming his wife. But when he heard the cold, mechanical voice on the phone saying, "The number you dialed is empty," Pei Yenshu was completely stunned. He immediately sent people to check if Linen had gotten into some trouble, but what he found was that Linen had abandoned everything she had, including him, without a trace. Ignoring the dinner party that followed, he drove to the house he had bought for Linen. All the valuables in the house had been taken away by Linen. He really hadn't misjudged her. Only on the shoe cabinet did she leave an invitation to Sumo's wedding, along with a silver ring, engraved inside with his and Linen's names. That was the one Linen had made herself when she proposed to him. Her hands were even scalded with several scars, yet he contemptuously threw it into the trash can. How could he marry a woman like her who brought no help from her industrial family? Women are just a man's face. Wealth and academic degrees are a man's backbone. A man without a woman is still a man. A man without wealth is just a mollusk whose backbone has been extracted. The dozen or so illegitimate children his father kept outside were eyeing his position covetously. Without the Su family's support, he would have no backing. Pei Yenshu also understood what Lin Nin was making a fuss about. Being kept by him was a good fortune that the vast majority of women in the world could not obtain even if they begged for it. He was extremely angry, wishing he could go to F City immediately to confront Lin Nin. Did she hate him so much that she didn't even want $100 million? No one could remain unmoved when faced with such enormous benefits. Lin Nin was definitely playing hard to get. As long as he steeled his heart and didn't contact her, sooner or later she would obediently come back and admit her mistake. Anyway, I am still the #1 man for Lin Nin. I also believe that Lin Nin will never meet a better man than me in this lifetime. A man with enough money will never lack women. With this in mind, I studied even harder to secure my position. The Pei Group stock doubled again and again. I became the sole authority in the Pei Group. Financial News plays my interviews on a rolling basis every day. Lin Nin will eventually see how big the gap is between me and those mediocre men outside. But after waiting a whole year, Lin Nin never contacted me again. She disappeared completely and utterly, like a drop of water merging into the sea, silent and without a trace. I originally wanted to temporarily set aside my work, go out to see how destitute she was after leaving me, and then condescendingly say, "I forgive you, come back to my side." However, at this moment, real estate companies began to fail one after another. The Su Group, as a downstream supplier in the real estate chain, was unable to collect payments and faced severe operational difficulties. Su Mo turned to me for help, hoping that I could inject 1 billion yuan to temporarily help the Su Group out of its difficulties. But this 1 billion could be used to acquire almost all of the Su family shares. Why should I help her? Pei Yenshu didn't hesitate at all. He released to the media the first-hand news that the Su Group's cash flow was about to dry up. That same day, the Su Group's stock price plummeted in panic. When the media interviewed him, asking why he didn't help his wife's family out of trouble, Pei Yenshu, dressed in a suit and looking every bit the elite, coldly threw out 4 words to the camera: "No way." Even the Pei family was unwilling to lend a hand. The outside world speculated that the Su family's debts had become hopeless. Panic selling followed one after another. The Su Group was almost sentenced to death by the capital market. After that, the Su Group stock price was halved again, and halved once more. Then Pei Yenshu took control of the Su Group at a very low cost. In other words, he swallowed up the Su Group. With the Pei family's capital injection, the Su Group stock price began to rise again. In a fit of anger, Su Mo filed for divorce. Pei Yenshu signed the divorce agreement without any hesitation. All assets were clearly separated in the prenuptial agreement. In the end, Su Mo only took away 100 million yuan, which wasn't even enough to cover a fraction of the Su family's massive debt. On the day of the official divorce, Su Mo asked me with red-rimmed eyes, "If the daughter of the Su family today were Lin Nin, would you still be so ruthless, not only refusing to help but even kicking her when she's down?" I didn't answer her directly, only sneered and told her, "You have neither the right nor the identity to ask me such a question. In business, it's always kill or be killed. I've never trusted anyone, and that's the most important lesson you can learn from me." After resolving the Su family's affairs, I couldn't even figure out what I was thinking. I took a private jet and flew to F City, where Lin Nin was. Over the years, countless women had thrown themselves at me, but I never had any interest in them. Using today's popular phrase, with Lin Nin it was probably a biological attraction. Ah well, women just need to be coaxed once in a while, right? Every time we fought before, Lin Nin would be the one to make up with me. This time, I'll lower my head first. But when he saw Lin Nin again, she was leaning against a tall, handsome foreign man, taking wedding photos. That wedding dress was the one she had pestered him about many times. The one she had insisted he wear with her. His heart inexplicably ached the moment he saw the man lower his head and kiss her forehead. He suddenly lost all reason, rushed forward in fury, and knocked the man down with one punch. Perhaps the Pei Group stock price dropped by several hundred million because of that punch, but in that moment, he couldn't control himself. Maybe he had underestimated Lin Nin's place in his heart. When the photographer asked Felix to kiss my forehead, I was completely stunned. I was just a model for the bridal shop, and this was indeed my duty. So I cooperated and closed my eyes. The photographer was satisfied and called cut. After the shoot, Felix looked down at me. He asked me earnestly and seriously in broken Mandarin, "Mia, I like you. Would you like to be with me?" I stared at him blankly. Over the past year, Felix and I had shot many sets of modeling photos for this bridal shop. I never thought he would like me. As my mind was going blank, Pei Yenshu, whom I hadn't seen in a year, suddenly appeared like the male lead of a cheesy 8 o'clock drama, punching Felix to the ground. I instinctively stepped in front of Felix, shielding him tightly. At that moment, Pei Yenshu's handsome face twisted in fury, and he threw me against the wedding photo of me and Felix hanging in the glass window. His eyes reddened, and his voice was incredulous. "Linen, you left me for this man? Are you really that protective of him? What needs to be settled will be settled eventually." I sighed, apologized to Felix and the photographer, and asked them to step out first. Only Pei Yenshu and I remained in the studio. His expression had returned to calm, but his hoarse voice still held suppressed anger. "We've only been broken up for a year, and you're already going to marry him? Do you know that for you, I even divorced Su Mo and bankrupted the Su family?" I stepped back warily. "You got married and divorced again. Who I marry has nothing to do with you." This action instantly angered him. He grabbed my wrist with an icy grip and pressed me against the wall. "Have you forgotten? You slept with me for 7 whole years, schemed to marry me, and now you look at me with disgust. What do you mean? Was it all for the money back then? Were you playing me?" His words were direct and harsh. My face instantly turned pale, but he still seemed unsatisfied with humiliating me. He took out the black card. "There's 50 million in this card. The password is your birthday. I'll buy another year of you. Is that enough?" Ignoring my resistance, he forced the card into the neckline of my wedding dress. He leaned down to forcefully kiss me, his warm kisses falling messily on my cheeks and chin. I was startled, struggling hard. I raised my hand and slapped him across the face. The sound echoed loudly in the empty studio. Pei Yenshu paused. "What do you mean? For the sake of a guy, you won't even take 50 million? Have you lost your mind?" He grasped my hand even tighter, his eyes dark and fierce. "Linen, I won't let you marry him." My hand was crushed painfully and I couldn't break free, so I had to give up. "Pei Yenshu, you won't let me marry another man. Are you planning to marry me? What if I say yes?" "Oh, if you're planning to marry me, I won't be as foolish as Su Mo and sign a prenuptial agreement with you. If we divorce, I'll take half of your property, including half of the shares of the Pei Group. You'll lose absolute control of the Pei Group. And you must publicly reveal my identity in front of the media. And will your parents agree to our marriage? Also, and what about your disreputable friends? Will they secretly mock you behind your back for marrying a wife like me?" Pei Yenshu frowned, suddenly fell silent, moved his lips, and didn't speak for a long time. My eyes gradually turned cold. "So, just like a year ago, you never actually planned to marry me. It's just possessiveness at play. Seeing there's another man by my side, seeing that I no longer love you, you can't accept it. In the heat of the moment, you casually made a promise, that's all. Since you can't do it, don't bother me anymore from now on. Also, Felix is just my photography partner. Don't cause him trouble anymore." Pei Yenshu's deep eyes suddenly lit up with hope. "But I love you. Isn't that enough? Besides the piece of paper I can't give you, I can give you everything you want." Taking advantage of his lapse, I withdrew my hand and glanced at him sarcastically. "Perhaps you really do love me, but fidelity, honesty, responsibility, dedication, accountability, and self-sacrifice, these precious qualities in love, are not determined by love or its absence. A selfish, hypocritical, and superficial person, no matter how much he loves me, cannot provide these things." Pei Yenshu looked a little dazed. He wanted to say he was not that kind of person, but then realized that his conduct indeed was like that. "You married Su Mo and hurt me countless times, only because you had weighed my value and Su Mo's value to you countless times in your heart, and you thought Su Mo was a wife who was easier to obtain. Whether in family background, education, or connections, she was far superior to me, so I was only fit to be your secret lover. In your eyes, I was always inferior, so no matter how hard I worked to improve, you never gave me a chance for promotion. Even if I exhausted every scheme and begged you, you would never marry me. I don't want to live so humbly and pitifully anymore. To love someone, you must first treat them with equal dignity, not look down on them or condescend to offer charity. I admit I truly am not worthy of you, and indeed, I no longer indulge in wishful thinking or love you. Pei Yenshu was stunned for a long time, for the first time stooping to admit his mistake. Work called him back with one urgent phone call after another. He had to personally handle all the company's affairs, big and small, so he didn't have much time to waste on me. In the middle of the night while I was drawing drafts, I would occasionally see Pei Yenshu standing under the big tree in front of my building, silently smoking, calmly watching my still-lit window. The next day, I happened to run into him at a financial conference in F City. He was vibrant and eloquent. It turned out he hadn't come specifically to see me. It was just a convenient stop to put on a show of deep affection. For someone like him, no matter what he does, he always calculates the cost-benefit ratio. Seasons came and went. He occasionally showed up to pester me, then disappeared for long stretches to handle tricky company affairs. I didn't care much. A refined egoist like Pei Yenshu, a staunch defender of class hierarchy, would sooner or later take a wife from a family that could boost his career, and then he would have no more time to bother me. I may not be able to take revenge or stop him, but I can choose to live my own life well. I will wholeheartedly pursue what I love and establish my own clothing brand. I will never be trapped by those 7 years, nor will I, as he wishes, become a caged canary in his gilded cage. The only use of life is to carry on the family line in a proper and legitimate way. Every day from now on, for me, is freedom and new life.